Truth tells us, obedience being rooted in truth in us, tells us that obedience is liberating. John 8, you can go read it. Jesus is having a confrontation with the Pharisees, and he tells them, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall what? Make you free. Abide in my word is what it says. Abide in my word. Obey my word. Live in my word. Live in my commands. You shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. So truth is liberating. It's freeing. What it is that if truth leads us to obedience, and truth is liberating, then it stands to reason that there is liberty in obedience. If the truth of Him in me leads me to obedience, and truth frees me, then walking in obedience is freeing. We think of it in our flesh the opposite way. That if I have to walk in obedience, think of all the things I'm going to miss. All the things I'm not going to enjoy. You know what I don't miss? Any of that. I enjoy this morning. I'm as content as any point I'll be this week right now. Usually when my life is irritating, I usually need to come here. You know, when we sin, when we've lied, maybe you've lied before, and then you've got to try to remember who you lied to, what you lied about. What did you say to them? What did you say to that? You've got this web in your head. Or you've done something that you think is in secret, and you're looking over your shoulder all the time. The wicked flee when no man pursues, right? Walking in obedience, I don't have to live looking over my shoulder. I'm living with the understanding that I want to live in such a way that if He came back, He would find me doing something good. Being obedient. So truth tells us that obedience is liberating. Love tells us this. Obedience is greater than sacrifice. So let's talk about that for a minute. When we think of someone who knows God, what are some of the first things we think about? I don't know that we always think about obedience first. I'm not saying never, but always. We might think about, wow, they must really know God. Look how they can minister. Wow, they must really know God. Look how they weep at the altar. Wow, they must really know God. Look how they dance and twirl and worship. They must really know God. Wow, they must really know God. Look how they carry their Bible everywhere. Look how raggedy it is. Well, maybe it's raggedy because they don't care about it and they accidentally put it in the washer. You know, maybe it's raggedy for a different reason. We look at all of these things to say, well, boy, that person must really know God. Look at them. Those things are sacrifices. Obedience is greater than that. When we think, often we might think of ministry, possibly emotion, as a sign that someone must really know God. I hesitate to tell this story. Pastor Dave's grandpa. Remember that story? You remember that story, Aaron? Pastor Dave used to tell this story. When he told stories, this is how it would go. He would say, have I ever told you about the time? I would say, yeah, you did. He would ignore my answer and tell me the story anyway. And he would tell it with the exact same verbatim, the exact same expressions as the way he told it to me last time. He had this one story. I think his grandfather got saved later in life, and he took him to Heritage with him. And his grandpa's just praising God, and someone that was like a deacon or elder or leader in the church came up to his grandpa and said, God's good, isn't He? And his grandpa answered, yeah, He's D-A-M-N, good. Pastor Dave would tell the story. He was mortified. He's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I think it was his grandfather. Anyway, that's what it is today. So, this is his dad. This is his dad. And so this leader comes back to Pastor Dave. He says, you see that old man up there? And, Pastor Dave's like, yeah. He's like, boy, he loves God. There was a sincerity. At that time, that was how he knew how to express the sincerest thing that he could. I think sometimes we think knowing God as the list of perfections. All these sacrifices, ministry, all of this stuff. It is not just that. It's obedience that stems from actually knowing Him. Sincerity. Why is that? I believe obedience is a revelation of your heart. What do you treasure? Who do you serve? In Matthew 7, Josh sent me a video about it this week. Matthew 7, 21 through 23, a verse that terrifies a lot of people where Jesus says, "Depart from me. I never knew you." And they make the comment, they reply to God and they say, "But didn't we? Didn't we prophesy in your name? Didn't we cast out demons in your name? Didn't we do all these things in your name?" And He says, "Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness." You're disobedient. 1 Samuel 15, I was going to read it today. I think I've already been preaching for 40 minutes. I don't want to go too long and you lose what we've talked about. Go read 1 Samuel 15 this week. God sends Saul, the king, to a battle, the Amalekites, I believe. Or Amalekites, I'm not sure how you say it. Either one. Those guys. One of the kites. One of the kite brothers. So he sends them to fight and he tells them to wipe them out. Saul gets in his own head, well, I'll spare the king and I'll keep the choicest of the animals and I'll offer a sacrifice to God. Samuel, the prophet, shows up and Saul's very pleased with himself. Look what I've done. Look at the sacrifice I made. Samuel rebukes him. He's already known what he's done, I think, before he even shows up. The Lord's done told him what He's going to do. And He tells him, He's essentially said, you essentially did, I'm paraphrasing, you did what you thought was good instead of doing what God told you to do. Not all good things are God things. Sacrifice, at that time, not a bad thing. Obedience is greater. So, what ends up happening is the kingdom is ripped from Saul's hands and eventually given to David, a man noted as a man who is after the heart of God. So emotionalism, ministry, sacrifice, these things are not the best depiction. I mean, my goodness, go look at all the pastors being exposed right now for what they do when they think nobody's looking. It's obedience. God isn't looking for what you think is best. Do what He says. God isn't looking for you for another sacrifice. He already provided the sacrifice. Will you walk in simple obedience? God may be asking you to do something difficult, but it isn't usually difficult to understand. God may be asking you to do something that's hard, but He's not asking you to do something that's hard to understand. He knows we're simple. He's going to speak to us in a way we understand. If it's a burning bush, then so be it. If it's a still small voice, great. He knows how to talk to you. He's not here to confuse you. He's not the author of that. He may be asking you to do something difficult, but He's going to ask it in a way that you know. Obey. Don't go to Him with your idea. Don't disobey His idea for you. Don't think that your sacrifice is great. Well, man, Lord, I know you said to do that, but boy, I really preached well today. You sure you want me to go share someone at Amigos, share Christ with them? I just did that with 100 people. Why don't you have Corinda do it? Why don't you have Melina do it? Why don't you have Ginger do it? They'll talk to a doorpost. They'll talk to that person, right? Why me, Lord? Why me? He didn't ask me what I thought I should do. He said, do this. I've heard the advice before, if you feel like God's not speaking to you, not giving you something to do, what's the last thing He said to do, and evaluate, have you done it? Verse 6, we'll close with verse 6. It says, by this, into verse 5, by this we may know that we are in Him. Whoever says he abides in Him ought to walk in the same way in which he walked. You want to know that you know him? Walk like Jesus walked. How did he walk? Total submission, total surrender, total obedience. Go read John chapter 12. Go read John chapter 5. He tells them, he said, I only do what I see the Father doing. I only say what I hear him say. He's commanded me what to say. He's commanded me what to do, and that's what I do. If it worked for Jesus to stay in doing only what the Father said to do, to say only what he heard him say, should it not be enough for you? What is the call? Well, the call from Jesus is follow me. Pick up your cross. Do what I did. Follow after me. There's an adage, I'm following in my Father's footsteps. That's a safe place for you to be. We got a lot of snow right now, right? A lot of snow. It ain't going anywhere, apparently. I walk in the snow, I create bigger footprints than Maverick. If Maverick tried to walk in 10 inches of snow with those little bitty legs, it would not be long before he started crying, tripping, slipping, falling. But if he stays behind me and he sees my tracks, he can step in there safely. He can step in there securely. I've got the snow out of the way. I've got the mess out of the way. I've walked. I know it's safe. I know, hey, we're not walking over a hole that's got snow on it. It's good for you to follow in your Father's footsteps. He's directing your path. He's making it straight. He's walking a safe way for you. He is. He has. You just have to follow. Don't go out and trailblaze. Don't go out and get in front of him. You know how many times I've had to tell Maverick or one of the kids here I was like, hey, I wouldn't run in the parking lot right now. You know how many times they listen? They probably fall, hit their head, and can't remember that I had a conversation with them. And they start running again to tell their mom. Don't get out in front of him. Don't go a direction he's not going. Walk in those steps that he's made for you. Walk as he walked. We'll start Wednesday night in verse 7, where John writes and says, a new commandment. He's like, I'm giving you a new commandment, but it's kind of an old commandment, but it's kind of new, more or less. What that commandment is love. But what Jesus has done in walking as he's walked in love is he's reshaped what that meant to the world. And we're going to talk about that Wednesday night. And what we're going to find is this. The love of God perfected in us is obedience. And obedience is love. So when his love's perfected in me, I'm going to walk in obedience. And to walk in obedience before God is to walk in love. It's this full circle thing. Why don't you stand with me this morning?